Have you ever wondered about the dramatic, apocalyptic battle detailed in the book of Ezekiel, chapters 38 and 39? What does this prophecy signify? In these chapters, we delve into the prophecy against Gog and Magog, painting a picture of a grandiose battle that seems straight out of an epic saga. The scene is set with Gog, the prince of Rosh, Meshech, and Tubal, leading a massive army from the far north to wage war against Israel. The sheer size and strength of this coalition are formidable, yet God declares his decisive intervention. As the prophecy unfolds, it becomes clear that this battle is not merely a clash of earthly powers. It is a cosmic confrontation where God himself steps in, resulting in the utter destruction of Gog and his forces. The forces of Gog, from the land of Magog, are obliterated, leaving no doubt about the divine power at play. Chapter 39 continues the prophecy, detailing the aftermath of Gog's defeat. The land is covered with the bodies of the invaders, and it takes 7 months for the house of Israel to bury them. This event serves not just as a clean-up operation, but as a powerful demonstration of God's glory and a vindication of his people. The prophecy against Gog and Magog is often interpreted eschatologically, pointing to a future time of divine intervention and ultimate victory for God's people. The identity of Gog and Magog, however, sparks much debate among scholars. Some see them as historical enemies of Israel, while others interpret them as symbolic representations of all nations that oppose God. Regardless of the specific identities, the message is clear: those who stand against God's people will face divine retribution. As we close the chapter on this prophecy, we are left with a potent reminder of God's power and his commitment to his people. No matter how formidable the enemy, God's intervention ensures victory for those who remain faithful to him. With the fall of Gog, we witness the might of divine intervention and the vindication of God's people. In the wake of destruction, Ezekiel presents us with a vision of hope and restoration in chapters 40 to 42. But what does this new temple symbolize? In the midst of Israel's darkest hour, Ezekiel is transported in a vision to a high mountain. There he witnesses a detailed blueprint of a new temple, a beacon of light in the gloom. An angelic figure, armed with a measuring rod, guides him through the temple, providing precise measurements and descriptions of its various parts. The outer court, inner court, and the sanctuary are all meticulously laid out. The detail of this vision is striking. It serves as a powerful symbol of order and stability, a stark contrast to the chaos and devastation that Israel is experiencing. The temple, in all its grandeur and precision, is a testament to the enduring presence and sovereignty of God amid turmoil. But the vision doesn't stop there. In chapter 43, the glory of the Lord returns to the temple, filling it with his divine presence. This is a profound moment. The temple, once desolate, is now filled with the radiant glory of God, signifying his return and his promise to dwell among the Israelites forever. This vision is particularly significant in the context of Israel's history. The destruction of Jerusalem and the exile to Babylon had left the Israelites in a state of despair. They had lost their temple, their city, and their sovereignty. The vision of the new temple offered them a beacon of hope, a promise of restoration and divine presence in their darkest hour. The new temple isn't just a building. It is a symbol of God's enduring covenant with his people, a promise of his abiding presence, and a testament to his power to restore and renew. It echoes throughout history, reminding us of God's unwavering commitment to his people, even when they falter and fall. Through this vision, Ezekiel underscores the promise of God's enduring presence among his people. Chapters 44 to 47 of Ezekiel outline the regulations for the new temple and introduce the figure of the prince. But what role does the vision of the river of life play in this narrative? Let's dive in. Chapters 44 to 46 present a meticulous set of rules and regulations for the temple. These guidelines govern the roles of priests and Levites, the conduct of worship, and the offerings to be made. Specific duties and privileges are assigned to a figure known as the prince. His role, while important, is carefully circumscribed. He is to provide the regular offerings and act justly, but he is not given the unbridled power that led to the corruption of past leaders. This is a new order, one that ensures that God's house remains holy and undefiled. Now, let's turn to the vision of the river of life in chapter 47. Ezekiel sees water flowing from the threshold of the temple, growing from a trickle to a mighty river. This river brings life wherever it goes. Fruit trees grow along its banks, their leaves never withering, their fruit never failing. The river's symbolism is potent. It represents the life-giving presence of God, a divine source of healing and fruitfulness. It's a vivid illustration of God's provision and abundance, a promise of restoration and life in abundance. Finally, the chapter describes the allocation of the land among the 12 tribes of Israel. This is not just a geographical distribution, but a divine allotment, a restoration of the people's inheritance. Each tribe is given its portion, a tangible sign of God's faithfulness to his promises. So, what do these chapters teach us? They speak of order, of justice, of divine provision. They tell us of a prince who serves his people, of a river that brings life, of a land shared among all tribes. They paint a picture of a future where God's presence is a tangible reality, where his blessings flow like a river, and where his people live in harmony and abundance. The river of life and the allocation of the land underscore God's provision and his promise of abundance for his people. For chapter 48, the final chapter in the book of Ezekiel, details the new city and its divisions. But what is the significance of the city's new name? This chapter draws a picture of a restored Israel, with meticulously allocated portions of land for each of the 12 tribes. Each tribe is given a city gate named after it, symbolizing their equal standing and importance in this new city. Central to this space is the temple, the divine dwelling place, radiating the glory of God. The city, meticulously planned and divided, is an embodiment of divine order and justice. But the crowning element is the city's new name, the Lord is there, or Yahweh Shammah in Hebrew. This name is more than just a label. It encapsulates the final promise of God's enduring presence among his people, a testament to his unswerving commitment and love. With the Lord is there, we are reminded of God's unending commitment to his people, a fitting conclusion to this profound prophetic book.